You're heading off to the board gaming club, the group, the store, your buddy's house, and you're trying to figure out, what are we going to play? Now, sometimes ahead of time, we come to a consensus and we say, hey, we're going to play this game or we're going to play these titles. Other times it's like, hey, just kind of bring 3 or 4 titles you're feeling. And let's kind of just see when everybody gets here, what's going on. And then at other times, going to the gaming store, it will be, I'm bringing a game. I don't know who's going to play. I don't even know if I'm going to play it. I might sit down at another table and play their game. It's a completely open framework on there. What is the checklist that you utilize, the titles that you utilize to figure out what the heck to bring? You know, those 3 titles on there. For me, the first criteria is time. Realistically, how much time do we have to play the game? I'm not adverse to not finishing a game. It happens, but that's what I want to focus on. I want to have an experience with my friends. Win, lose, competitive or not, I want closure. I want to know, like Maximus, are you not entertained? I want to know how it ends up, how it all goes down. So do we have 3 hours to play? Do we have 6 hours to play? Do we have 8 hours to play? What is the physical time footprint that we have? I take into account setup and breakdown. Is that included in that? So if we have 3 hours to play, but I can arrive at the rec center 30 minutes before and set up, that means we have 3 hours to play. If I have to set up, that means we only have 2.5 hours to play. What's as best as we can determine what is the true footprint of time. Second to that, if we do have, say, 8 hours to play, my mind's like, all right, Twilight Imperium, or better yet, Descent First Edition. But I need to take into account the feeling, the ethos of the players. Meaning, are they going to lose interest? Are they going to lose stamina? If I have 8 hours to play, but it's a pickup game, meaning I'm going to bring it to the store, I don't know who's playing. I don't know what the player's going to be into. Descent First Edition might not be the best choice because we might kind of run out of steam halfway through. Where if we have 8 hours and players are like, yes, I know that guy likes Descent. I know that guy likes Descent. Let's do First Edition, which is much longer than Second. Then we can bring it. So the number one thing is time. Next, footprint. Generally speaking, and this is hard because I'm a completionist and I love expansion bloat and I want more toys and I want more miniatures and I want lots of stuff on the table, but I need to be mindful and say, am I transporting this somewhere? How am I going to set all this up? Does it cut into the time? What is literally the physical footprint of where we're playing? If it's down in the Fritz cave, that's fine. If I'm taking it to my buddy's place, that's okay too. I know the space. If we're at a gaming club or a gaming store, that footprint might be very, very small. Perfect example. I play Talisman a lot. I love all the expansions. We use all the expansions. But anytime if I bring Talisman to the store to play, it's base only. And I've had a lot of amazing experiences. A funny thing with this being the new year, a number of years ago, we played board games at this like board game shop cafe, and we played Talisman. It was just kind of like a bunch of games on a shelf, and we're like, I don't know, it's 9:00 and let's play some games, and we'll kind of go out before the ball drops in White Plains and see what happens. All right, pull Talisman down. Look, I'm not going to say no to Talisman. I'm not. And it was just the core. It was just the core game. And sitting there and playing and laughing and just having fun, I'm like, this is an awesome way. This is an awesome way to move into the new year. But we were literally playing it. It was practically, the characters were practically, the character cards and stuff were practically in our laps because the space was at a premium. The cafe was packed. That's great. That's awesome on there. What is the space that I have to play? The final question is the complexity of the game and the players. Yes, naturally we're going to be a little selfish, right? We all like certain titles. I like dungeon crawling games. That's probably 60% of my collection. I like Ameritrash. I like narrative games. I like role-playing type board games. Do I have any Euros in my collection? Yes, I do. I have the I have a really nice 3D version of Settlers on there. I mean, I lose a lot of points for saying Settlers, but I gain a lot of points because it's the 3D version on there. That's the only Euro title that I own on there. So, yes, you're going to be a little selfish. You want to play the games you want to play. But I try to keep in mind, if I don't know the audience, bringing Blackstone Fortress, which is a Warhammer 40K game. I'm loving Blackstone Fortress. It is amazing. I'm having a blast on there. We need more content immediately from GW. You got to be in part of the club to know that. I mean, yeah, it's a sci-fi dungeon crawler. It makes sense. But if you don't know the lore, you're missing out on a lot of the game. I'm not going to bring that. I will bring, and this is why I think Zombicide Invader, Zombicide Black Plague, it hits on the DNA of our culture. Everybody knows zombies. Everybody knows that game. Everybody knows sword and sorcery on there. You can sit down and play it. So I will tend to, and of course I love both games on there, but I try and take into account what do I think the audience is going to be, because I want us to have a fun time. I want everyone to sit down at the table. You know, rule number one for me, board gaming. This is why I like bigger player games. Everyone has a spot at my gaming table. You want to play, you walk into the store, I don't know you, hey, we're all gaming, we're having fun, have a seat, let's do this. So there will be times when I've been playing Pathfinder the Adventure card game. We're doing 8 players. You know, there have been times when we're playing a recent game of Zombicide Invader. We did 10 players. Yeah, the game's out of balance. Yeah, it's a little bit wonky. Yeah, it's a little bit easier, but I'm not going to turn away someone no matter what. So taking that into account, if it's a pickup game, I tend to want to focus on something a little bit more open, a little bit more generic in terms of theme, in terms of scope, as opposed to like, let's play Space Hulk or let's play not Twilight Imperium, Blackstone Fortress on there. That's the checklist. I would have to say the number one thing is time, again, because we want to complete it. Second is space or potential space. And then third, is this a bunch of friends and we know the type of games we like? Or is this completely pickup type games?